Welcome back to Fox Recaps. Today, I'm going to explain the movie Secretly, Greatly, released in the year 2013. The movie revolves around a group of spies, the 5446 Corps, who have been trained by the North Korean Special Forces since their youth, with a goal of unifying Korea. After training, they were dispatched to South Korea, where they have disguised themselves and settled down awaiting further instructions from their superiors. One such North Korean sleeper cell agent is Won Ryu-han, who is a master of cruel martial arts in real life, but in South Korea, he has assumed the role of Dong-go, a clumsy village idiot in a rural town. It has been more than 2 years since he has been observing the townsfolk for North Korea, while bearing abuse from the town's rowdy kids. For his cover, he works for an old woman named Jeon Sun-im at her convenience store and lives in her home with her son Cho Duo-sang. Over time, he has developed a crush on a local girl named Yoon Yu-ran. However, Yoon's high schooler brother Yoon Yu-jun always abuses Ryu-han and keeps him in check. The town also has a girl named Ran that moved in 3 months ago and is infamous for wearing revealing dresses. Won always tries not to look at her cleavage, but he fails every time. He also has a local contact named Sue, who has been living undercover for more than 16 years. He advises Won to find an interest to make his time more bearable in South Korea, but Won finds the idea blasphemous. One day, fellow elite spy Hae-rong, posing as an aspiring rock star, is dispatched to the same town as Won, much to Won's dismay. Won fears that his superiors might have started to underestimate his abilities as a spy. Hae-rong moves into the same building where Ran lives, and Won quickly acquaints himself with him. One night, a boy bangs on his door and asks for his help in finding his brother, who went missing after he went outside his home to pee. Won disguises himself and springs into action. Using his excellent skills, Won quickly locates the boy at Mr. Park's house. After overhearing their conversation, Won quickly deduces that Mr. Park has a crush on the boy's mother, and the boy followed Mr. Park to his home in greed of cookies. Others arrive outside Mr. Park's home, looking for the boy, and spot Won in disguise peeping into his home. They assume that Won kidnapped the boy, and as a result, he is forced to run away in his disguise. The boy reunites with his distraught mother, and Mr. Park becomes the hero in the story for rescuing the boy from the pervert kidnapper. The movie then cuts to a safe house in a secret location, where the former director of North Korea's Ministry of People's Armed Forces, Hee Kwan, is in a meeting with South Korean officials, including the National Intelligence Service's chief, Seo Soo-hyuk. They are discussing a series of murders of North Korean defectors living in South Korea. Hee Kwan strongly believes that Unit 5446 is behind the assassination and tells them about Kim Jong-il and Lee Moo-hyuk, who created the top-secret troop 16 years ago. After Jong-il's death, the unit has become Lee's private troop. At Won's home, Soo shows up unannounced and reveals that his family got caught defecting to China. He has been ordered to return back to North Korea and asks Won for a pistol so he could end his life in a dignified manner. The movie then cuts to a sniper that's aiming at its target, seemingly Soo. However, when he fires the shot, it becomes clear that the sniper was aiming at Hee Kwan, who falls to the ground. Chief Seo is sure that Unit 5446 is behind this, and he seeks his boss's permission to set up a team to tackle the unit, but his boss turns him down, citing political reasons. Meanwhile, Won also denies Soo's request and tells him to stay loyal to the DPRK till his last breath, as that's the only thing that has the chance of saving his family from execution. Won might act cold, but Soo's situation makes him miss his mother even more, and he writes a letter to her. It is revealed that he has written several such letters addressed to his mother, but he can't send them to her, and he keeps all of them in his room. That night, an unknown boy sneaks into Won's room and holds him at gunpoint. However, without the boy even saying anything, Won figures out that he is part of the elite North Korean troop and orders him to state his rank. Startled, the boy addresses Won as captain and reminds him about his obligations to the DPRK before running away. Juan goes after him, and an intense parkour pursuit follows. However, the young spy manages to get away. Juan is spotted by a drunken Ron, and she forces him to sit with her in the park. An inebriated and emotional Ron confides in Juan that she gave birth to a boy when she was 18 years old, and her parents sent the baby to the US for adoption. She breaks down, saying that she hasn't seen her son since then. When she falls asleep, Juan carries her back home. Afterwards, he catches the mysterious agent secretly spying on him from a distance. Juan also figures out that he is Hae Jin, a boy that he personally trained in Unit 5446. Exposed, the boy panics and runs away. The next day, Juan finally meets Hae Jin formally, when Yoo Jun introduces him as his new high school friend. Juan begins to wonder by himself why two new spies were sent to the same shanty town, and it doesn't take him long to figure it out when he notices that some other man has replaced Soo as the local delivery man. That evening, Juan confronts Hae Jin, and the boy reveals that he only sent Soo back to Korea because he was trying to end his life, putting other sleeper agents at risk. Before Juan could ask the boy about his mission, they hear someone approaching, and the two are forced to hide. It turns out to be Yu Ran and her drunk boss who is harassing her. Juan instructs Hae Jin to help the girl, but he replies that they shouldn't help South Koreans, and wonders if Juan has developed feelings for her. However, Juan explains to him that he can get in Yoo Jun's good books by helping his sister, thus solidifying his cover story. Hae Jin then saves her, and to keep the boss from firing her, Juan blackmails the man with his embarrassing video. The next day, as Hae Jin, Juan, and Hae Rang talk, a liquor supplier threatens Soon Im. Juan immediately intervenes, but without breaking character. He manages to save her, but ends up getting beaten badly. When Duo Sonk learns about the incident, he goes to confront the goons, and Juan and Hae Jin secretly follow him. Without exposing his identity, Hae Jin beats them up, and afterwards, Juan comforts a badly battered Duo Sonk. The next day, Soon Im throws a chicken soup party to celebrate Duo Sonk teaching the goons a lesson. At the party, the North Korean agents find themselves enjoying the South Korean food and people. Back in NK, Lee grows worried about being exposed for having a secret army without the country's leader Kim Jong-un. It is revealed that North Korea's new leader, Kim Jong-un, wants to take steps towards reunifying the two Korean countries, and sleeper agents could derail such a plan. Therefore, Lee orders all of the active duty spies to take their own lives. One by one, the North Korean spies all over South Korea oblige, and Hae Jin is also adamant on honoring the order, but Juan insists on talking to the unit's chief trainer first. However, Hae Jin considers it contumacy and points a gun at his captain. Hae Rang intervenes and reasons that there's no point in taking their lives, as no one would care if they quietly disappear. Upset, Hae Jin calls them dogs of the South and threatens to kill them. Juan agrees to grant him his wish and asks Hae Jin to shoot him, but the boy can't bring himself to take his captain's life and is forced to leave in shame. Meanwhile, Seo is troubled by the young North Korean spies ending their life, so he talks to his superiors about it, but they tell him to mind his business, as the only thing they care about is the reunification of Korea, even if that means having to turn a blind eye towards certain things. Hae Jin soon learns that he is being followed, and he takes on his stalkers while Juan is approached by Seo. Seo tells him that he wants to save the remaining spies and appeals to him to officially defect. When Juan turns down the offer, the chief points a gun at him. Suddenly, Hae Jin shows up, forcing the chief to flee. Hae Jin chases after him, and Juan proceeds to follow Hae Jin, but he is forced to stop when he notices Soo. Soo reveals that he ran away while he was being sent away to North Korea, and asks Juan to protect him. Meanwhile, the NIS chief manages to arrest Hae Jin and pulls out a tracking device from under his skin that he was unaware of. Moreover, Unit 5446's army instructor, Kim Tae-won, crosses the border to eliminate those who refuse to comply. Later, Juan notices Hae Jin's blood on the ground. Assuming the worst, he decides to stop obeying orders from anyone. He cuts his hair short and stops hiding his real personality. Most town dwellers are shocked by the change, but for some reason, Soon-im doesn't seem surprised, almost as if she knew he was playing a character all along. Won tells her that he is leaving, and she cooks him one last meal. Before leaving, Won also hands Ron the address of her son and urges her to visit him. Won and Hae-rong unite and take down a South Korean agent. Using the agent's earpiece, Won talks to the chief and asks him to look after Hae-jin. However, the chief asks him to surrender himself and tells him about the GPS and Kim Tae-won. When Hae-jin learns that his captain's life is in danger, he agrees to desert his country and cooperate with the NIS. Using the tracking device, Won and Hae-rong lure Kim Tae-won to a deserted building. Won asks him if the NK government has been looking after his mother, but Kim's silence reveals everything Won needs to know about the regime, and an intense battle follows. The town's two rowdy children show up at the site, and Kim's henchman proceeds to shoot the children, but Hae-rong runs the man over with his car and flees with Won and the children. Kim follows them in his car, but the chief shows up with the police, forcing him to flee. After dropping the children back to the neighborhood, Won and Hae-rong go to the secret place where they hid Soo. However, they learn that Soo is actually the professor of philosophy at Kim Il-sung University. Soo famously opposed the creation of 5446 unit because he believed that the spies would eventually betray their nation. He was ordered to cross into South Korea by Kim so he could prove his point. Soo then unleashes his henchmen on the two, but they eventually take them all out. For a moment, Won wonders if he is doing the right thing by betraying a country that's looking after his mother, but Soo reveals that all the family of 5446 soldiers were imprisoned in the camp when they joined the unit. He speculates that Won's mother must have been executed after he became irrelevant to the state. Stricken with grief, Won stabs Soo. Suddenly, a bunch of snipers start shooting at them, and Won and Hae-rong are forced to flee. Meanwhile, Kim and NIS arrive outside the building. NIS comes under fire from the snipers, but Hae-jin manages to break free and eliminate all the North Korean snipers. Afterwards, he appeals to the chief to save Won. The chief and the police try to make their way up, but their path is blown up by Kim's men. Later, Won, Hae-rong, and Kim and his men converge on the roof, and an intense battle follows. After all his men perish, Kim fights Won and Hae-rong by himself. As Kim proceeds to finish Won off, Hae-jin shows up along with the police and shoots Kim from the back. Clinging on to his last breath, Kim pulls out a bomb, but Hae-rong decides to sacrifice himself and jumps off the building with Kim and the bomb that explodes in the air. Hae-jin then holds the police off from arresting Won and asks him to run away, but Won is grief-stricken by the death of his mother. However, he suddenly notices a bank passbook left by Soon-im in his pocket. It turns out that she had been saving money for Won's marriage and registered him as her second son. Won is instantly moved to tears. The chief urges Hae-jin to surrender himself, but he opens fire at them, forcing them to spray him with bullets in retaliation. Won holds the boy in his arms and as a result comes under the line of fire. The two then seemingly fall to their death. That was all from the video. I hope you liked it. Subscribe for more content like this and hit the like button to help us out. Also, leave a comment if you want us to recap your favorite movie. Until next time, take care.